Women should just take care of the house and children after getting married. A wife should obey her husband, right? Yeah. My husband, Tom, muttered this just before our wedding. We happened to be watching a TV feature on successful businesswomen at the time. Hearing this, I decided to marry him while keeping a secret. From now on, make sure you listen to what I say. Huh? No, huh? The man of the house is me. Don't talk back. His outdated, male-dominant thinking became more apparent. The housework, childcare, and even caregiving are your jobs. I won't tolerate any half measures. I've always tried my best and will continue to do so. Even though you're not doing a great job now. Tom laughed mockingly. I retorted back. And what if I fail? That's obvious. Divorce. And of course, you'll owe me alimony of $60,000. $60,000! You can't pay that, can you? You have no choice but to obey me. But Tom was greatly mistaken. This was the secret I had kept from him. Before getting married, I hid the fact that I owned 3 buildings. At this point, I felt no need to hold back. Don't talk about petty amounts like $60,000. I could give you $6 million if needed. What kind of joke is that? There's no way you could pay that much. You'll find out if we divorce. Eventually, we did get divorced. And to make him regret, I decided to pay him the $6 million as I declared. Tom's attitude changed 180 degrees, begging for forgiveness. I'm Julie, and I turned 34 this year. My husband, Tom, is 10 years older than me. Because I lost my father at an early age, I might have seen my late father in Tom. We met through a mutual friend. Julie, you like older guys, right? Yeah, I guess. Actually, there's someone at my workplace who might be your type. Wanna meet? Sure, I'll give it a try. That's how I met Tom. Learning he was 10 years older. But he looked so young, and we talked easily. Thanks for coming to see an old guy like me today. I enjoyed our conversation. Would you mind meeting again? Yes, I'd like that. We felt an indescribable comfort even after just a 2-hour dinner. We started meeting weekly. After 6 months, Tom proposed. And I immediately said yes. Are you sure about me? Of course. Then, let's make the best of it. Tom was incredibly kind to his younger self. I admit, I was quite spoiled by it. As time passed, I began thinking about marriage. Then, my mother called. I need to talk to you about something, Julie. My father had run a construction company before he passed away. The company was quite large, but when my father passed away, it was handed over to my uncle, who was the vice president. My mother inherited the real estate owned by my father. She asked if I could take it over. Me? I can't do that. I'm getting older, and managing it is quite a task. My mother looked truly exhausted. It was hard to say no after realizing this. You're the only one I can rely on, Julie. But what do I need to do? I don't really understand. That's okay. I'll teach you bit by bit. It seemed a bit daunting, but I agreed to help since it was my mother's request. After going through the formalities, I officially inherited the real estate. During this period, other things were happening. Will you marry me? I'm so happy. Yes, I will. I accepted his proposal, but the problems started afterward. One day, while watching TV at my house, Tom said, women should just stay at home after getting married and take care of the house and children. A wife should obey her husband, right? Well, yeah, I guess. I muttered in response. The TV was featuring successful businesswomen at the time, emphasizing how married women thrive in society. But I'm working right now, aren't I? Oh, I forgot to mention, but you'll quit your job, right? What? That's obvious. I was confused because he had never shown such an attitude before. Tom's next comment made my heart sink. I hate women who unnecessarily have assets like that woman on TV. Why? It's obvious. After getting married, it's normal to support your husband, right? I hate attitudes that seem a bit condescending. My heart raced with his words. What about meeting your parents? I'll leave it up to you. Okay. Let's do it soon. After Tom left, I immediately called my mother. Tom and I are planning to visit you. Really? We'll be waiting. About the inheritance I recently got, I want to keep it a secret from Tom. If that's what you want, Julie. I cautioned my mother. I was scared to think what would happen if Tom found out. I felt trapped because I had already accepted his proposal. Apart from this issue, I thought Tom would be the ideal husband. As time passed, Tom's attitude towards women became more extreme. Make sure you listen to what I say. What? His words on the first day of our marriage. His outdated views on male superiority accelerated. Know what? I'm the man of this house. Don't talk back. At this point, I had quit my job and become a full-time housewife. I wasn't planning to talk back anyway. Good. From that day, I became more cautious around Tom, always following his lead. However, something joyful happened amid this life. 4 months into our marriage, I discovered I was pregnant. You're pregnant? Well done. Thank you. Now I'm gonna be a father. Tom was very happy. Seeing him like that made me smile too. During my pregnancy, he took care of me, and I thought this wouldn't change after giving birth. But then, all right. Now that our baby's born, make sure you do all the housework and childcare. What? Aren't you going to help? I work. Everything inside the house is your job. Okay. I was speechless at how much Tom had changed. With a newborn baby, I couldn't argue much. We named our baby girl Lily. True to his word, Tom barely participated in childcare. The only time he got involved was when friends visited, and that was just for appearances. Hey, have you been neglecting the housework lately? No, I'm doing everything. Really? Tom stood up from the sofa, walked to the window, and ran his finger along the window frame. How is this being done properly? There was a slight dust on his finger. Barely noticeable. I almost wanted to retort like he was a nagging in-law. I never thought you'd be a woman who couldn't even do this properly. Lower your voice, please. Lily will wake up. What? Don't talk back to me. Tom raised his arm, threatening to come at me. But just then, Lily started crying at the right moment, and he stormed off to the bedroom. I picked up Lily and spoke to her gently. Did you help me? Thank you. She soon stopped crying. This moment made me decide to protect Lily no matter what. Tom and I talked less, but one day he came home smiling. I tentatively asked, something good happened? Yeah, kinda. My mom's health is improving. His mother had always been frail and often hospitalized. I thought it was just another update about her. But it was more serious than I expected. Mom's coming back home, but I'm still worried about her. That makes sense. Hey! Don't talk like it's someone else's problem. You're going to take care of her. Take care of her? You mean you want me to look after your mother? You catch on fast. He laughed. At least once a week, go check on her. I've already told her. This is so sudden. You're not planning to abandon her, are you? Of course not. I had no choice but to agree since the message was already conveyed to my mother-in-law. The next Saturday, I went to her house with Lily. When we arrived, my mother-in-law greeted us with a smile. Welcome, Julie. Sorry to make you come all this way. No problem. How are you feeling? Thanks to you, I'm doing well. That's good to hear. I brought Lily today. Although I was upset about Tom's unilateral decision, I didn't dislike my mother-in-law. Time with her became a precious respite for me. It seemed the same for her, and our bond deepened. After I started visiting her, she suddenly apologized. I'm sorry, Julie. Why the sudden apology? My mother-in-law suddenly apologized. About Tom, if you're unhappy, you can leave him. What? I never expected such words from her. Though I never complained about Tom, perhaps she sensed something from my expressions. I can tell, even though you don't say anything. Really? I see my younger self in you. My father-in-law had passed away from an illness about a year before I got married. I had never met him and knew little about him, just vague stories from Tom. You had a hard time too, didn't you? Back then, it was even worse. She replied, smiling, but with a hint of regret. So, what's it really like with Tom? Well, that reaction means it's pretty bad, huh? She sighed. I don't know how to explain it. Don't hold back. It's just us here. Okay. So, I told her everything. She listened without interrupting. I had no idea it was this bad. What should I do? It was like a life consultation. Like I said before, don't suffer in silence. I don't want to see you in pain. Thank you. That conversation made me seriously consider divorce. You can always talk to me, and of course, I won't tell Tom. Most people would naturally take their son's side. But she was different. Perhaps she sympathized with me because we shared similar experiences. It felt good to have her support. When I got home, Tom was drinking. Hey, you're back. I'm out of booze, go buy some. I need to put Lily to bed first. As I headed to the nursery. Your husband comes first, he yelled. Turning around, I saw him throw the beer can he was holding, without giving me time to dodge. Thinking the can might hit Lily, I instinctively shielded her. The can hit my back, but fortunately, I wasn't seriously injured. What if you hit Lily? What? It's your fault for being there. I just threw it, you're the one who got in the way. I glared at him and walked away. I was overwhelmed with anger, thinking, is this what a husband and father is supposed to do? Suddenly, he barged into the room. Get me booze now, or who knows what'll happen. He was staggering, clearly drunk. I reluctantly agreed, fearing his wrath if I refused. Okay, I'll go now. Thanks. I went to a liquor store. Returning to find him asleep on the sofa, snoring. I wondered what I was doing for such a man. The only good thing about marrying Tom was having Lily. The joy of our first meeting was long gone. I need to talk to my mother-in-law soon. As usual, I visited my mother-in-law on the weekend. We had a great time, but when I returned home, Tom was furious. Confused, I asked for the reason behind his behavior. Why are you so angry? You know why? The hospital called. What did you do? What? I did nothing. Don't lie. My mom collapsed and was taken to the hospital. That couldn't be true. She was fine when I left. Confused and speechless, Tom hurled more insults at me. Why do you think I sent you to take care of my mom? She was fine when I left the house, I insisted. You think you can fool me with that lie? Tom retorted. I'm not lying. I was increasingly frustrated with Tom's accusations. Fearing for my daughter Lily's safety, I had been considering asking for a divorce. Housework, childcare, and caregiving are your jobs, right? I won't tolerate anything half-done. I've been trying my best and will continue to do so. You're not doing a good job even now. Tom mocked me. I fought back. So, what happens if I can't do it? It's obvious, isn't it? Divorce. And of course, you'll owe me $60,000 in alimony. $60,000? You can't pay that now, can you? You have no choice but to obey me. Why $60,000? It's because of my mom, and besides, you're causing me trouble. It's a fair demand. But Tom was greatly mistaken. I was not without money. In fact, I had assets hundreds of times greater than his. Before getting married, I had hidden the fact that I owned 3 buildings. I thought there was no need to hold back any longer. Don't talk about meager amounts like $60,000. I could give you $6 million. What kind of joke is that? You can't pay that much. Are you crazy? You'll see if we get divorced. Are you serious? You'll be the one in trouble if you divorce me. We'll see about that. The next day, I took Lily and left the house without saying anything to Tom, who didn't try to stop us. Then, I went to a certain place. The hospital where my mother-in-law had been taken. Are you okay? Julie, you're here. Tom told you we're in the hospital, didn't he? Tom exaggerates too much. I've never been strong, to begin with. She laughed it off. I felt a bit guilty for feeling relieved. I came today for another reason. You've made up your mind, haven't you? What? She knew. You're here to tell me about the divorce? Yes. I decided yesterday. I couldn't bear it anymore and left this morning. I think that's good. You look more lively now. Really? She didn't blame me and even supported my decision. I felt I could share my long-hidden secret with her. I fully support you, Julie. I made up my mind as well. I was nervous about her reaction. Taking a deep breath, I told her. Actually, I've been hiding something from Tom. Hiding something? Tom always thought I had no money because I didn't work, but that's not true. What do you mean? I inherited real estate from my mother. I'm the owner of 3 buildings. I braced myself for criticism. But her reaction was unexpectedly positive. Wow, that's amazing. No need to hide that. But with Tom. Oh, I see. Tom's views on male superiority were extreme, weren't they? Yes, I realized it might be a problem, but by then I had already accepted the proposal, I explained to my mother-in-law. It's hard to say no in that situation. But you're going to tell Tom, right? Yes. I know it's weird to say this in front of you, but... No need to be reserved now. Just do what you feel is right. Her words cleared any doubts I had. I plan to reveal everything after the divorce, to make him regret it. That's great. I'd love to see his face then. After talking it all out with my mother-in-law, I went back to my parents' house. My mom accepted everything without question. I left Lily with her and started preparing for the divorce. 2 weeks later, the divorce was finalized smoothly. Tom didn't say much. Then, 3 days later, he confronted me. What did you do? What do you mean? My account, there's an insane amount of money in it. Oh, that. It's the alimony I promised you. But $6 million is unbelievable. I had actually transferred $6 million to him. To me, $6 million wasn't a significant amount. I owned luxury condominiums worth millions each unit. Don't worry. It's all my money. That's crazy. If you can't believe it, come to this address. You'll see for yourself. What? I gave Tom an address and ended the call. About 30 minutes later, I saw him approaching. It was unmistakable that it was Tom. I've been waiting for you. What's at this place? Just look around. Yeah. He looked around. We were standing in a plaza surrounded by 3 buildings. Just a bunch of condominiums. Yes. These luxury condominiums. So what? You live here? No. I own these condominiums. Owner? He still didn't seem to grasp the situation. I've been quiet about it, but I inherited them from my mom. So, I own these apartments. You? Owner of luxury condominiums? That's the truth. Believe it or not. Since when? Just before you proposed. You hid this all along. Why didn't you tell me? He still didn't get it. Well, he might not be aware of it, so it can't be helped, I suppose. I didn't think you'd remember, but you were saying things like a wife should obey her husband, and women shouldn't have money. For that reason? That's a big deal for me. Arguing seemed pointless, so I decided to end the conversation. Well, it doesn't matter now. We're divorced. It's none of your business anymore. It does matter. You deceived me, so you owe me. I already gave you $6 million. That's not enough. Give me more. There's no way I'm giving you more. Oh, and you should take care of your mom, right? I know that without you telling me. Good. Then we have nothing more to talk about. As I was about to leave, Tom called out to me. Wait! Just hear me out. Is there more? I really want to go home. It'll be quick. Then make it quick, please. Do you have any intention of starting over with me? No. I answered immediately. Tom's prideful nature meant he could only speak in a condescending tone. If you wanted to start over with me, you'd need to change your attitude first, though that's probably impossible. Tom seemed to be thinking deeply, looking down. Then, looking up, he said something completely different. Please, let's forget the past. Lily needs a father, doesn't she? Lily will be fine without a father. She probably doesn't even recognize you as one. That might be true now, but I truly regret everything. I'm not fooled by such acting. You just regret losing the money, don't you? No, it's not like that. I mean it. Then Tom begged me. I'm tired of this. I have no expectations from you anymore. Goodbye. I left, laughing. Looking back, Tom hadn't moved. Such a foolish man. He will probably live his life filled with regret. Hello? Julie, what's up? I actually paid Tom, but I have a favor to ask. I understand. Leave it to me. By then, my mother-in-law had been discharged and was back at home. I asked her to make sure Tom used the money for her house's barrier-free modifications and living expenses. As per her request, and due to his pride, Tom ended up giving her an amount exceeding $2 million each month. A friend also told me about Tom quitting his job, bragging about having received money. He seems to have quit his job. Really? Yeah. He's been telling people it's because he came into some money. Oh, I see. Did you have something to do with this? Well, just a little. Of course, such actions were unlikely to lead to anything good. He's spending it all on gambling, alcohol, and women. Hardly anything is left now. He truly became a worthless person. Just the other day, he came to my house asking for money. Really? But don't worry. I didn't lend him anything. What is he even doing? It's embarrassing to admit he's my son. Thank you for everything. I'm counting on you in the future. Lily and I moved to one of my luxury apartments. Our life was comfortable, and she was growing up healthily. I still keep in touch with my mother-in-law. And it seems like we'll continue to enjoy our lives.